Mm-hmm. All right.
Alright, so we're doing leg attacks of all varieties or just what's legal at your belt levels now?
Your call.
Hannah, you are up for Nogi World, so you take precedence on
Oh,
this.
you just busted my. Hi.
Hey.
Oh, you didn't tell him? Oh, fuck. I'm sorry. My bad.
That's right. In
I
other news,
figured you
I'm
guys
pregnant.
I thought you guys were, my bad, I thought you guys were talking more. I am really sorry. This is the kind of stuff you need to tell me so little slips like this doesn't happen.
A little lapsus linguae. Okay,
Yeah, I'm not gonna be doing leg attacks or anything. It doesn't matter.
why not?
That's what I'm saying. Dude, yeah, everybody stands on feet. Well, foot.
Because
Everybody uses hips to stand. That's not true either.
because 1.5 weeks is not good enough to get.
Not with that attitude.
Oh my god. Brick wall.
Alright, so let's first start by talking about the differences in the single leg X. So present your feet. Right, and this is something that happened the other day, which was last night I'm teaching out at Annapolis, and this one guy was like, I see you put foot on the hip and you hook your other foot directly under the same side leg. Why do you do that when I see a lot of people teach it like this? And it's like, well, here's the thing. How much pressure do you feel within this area here?
None.
Right? Even if I really try to squeeze,
No.
not a lot. And what does me putting a hook back there do?
Make this easier to dig this out.
Yeah, it really does, right? Whereas the difference is like when I'm here, I can really throw someone's leg around because my shins are working together, making that X, right? It's called single leg X, not single leg S now, right? When I look at this shape, nothing about it looks like an X to me. Because if you take him out of it, I'm doing this, where one heel is on his hip, and then this foot's hooked back here. Whereas when I'm here, now I can see the X. Why am I doing that? Because now I have a lot of control. If I want to take this, going back, if I want to take this without using my hands and go to the belly down position, it's very easy for me to do that. And now I can scoop this up and go. And I just go from heel on the hip to right on my shin. So as I drive, my hip is rotating his knee around. And now, how do I get his knee to the floor? I take his foot, I keep rotating it, and as I drive forward, oh yeah, it's a bad day.
Yeah.
Cool? Right hand, let me guard it. So, from this angle. Huh? It's okay. You still got him.
More torque.
Yeah. I have a lot of trouble turning her leg here, right? You don't feel the pressure on this side of your leg. And this hook doesn't really stop you from doing anything that I don't want. People are like, but if they turn their leg this way, it can help you get to the reap. It's like, I can make that transition when I want later, but for now, I want this control. So try to turn that way. No, yeah. Because I have my post dug into the mat, I can put my weight into my toes and now make this a wall. So when I'm here, she can't go to the direction that they think she can go to, because this actually doesn't prevent you from turning that way, right? And at the same time, I want you to turn this way. So when you turn that way, cool, now we're done moving. Try to keep rolling. And win, right? So, before we even get to the belly down, that's why I do that position. But let's start by finishing it up, finishing it on an elbow, and then finishing it belly down. So the finishing it up. Have we gone through that at least enough to give you a...
So I typically do I find myself having more success with the figure four, because I feel like it keeps me tight, right?
Show me.
So as we're here, so here, so and then as the position, typically people either come into me and then I'll go belly down, but I'm just here, and then as if they, because they're gonna try to dig this out, right?
Mhm.
And so I come here, and then it's
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, I don't know if I would tap, but I've got dead feet, right? So, let me see what you're doing. Pick a foot.
You not digging?
Huh?
Not attacking feet.
That feels good. It's a good pop. It's usually that one.
Nice.
Yeah. So both are very, very different. I don't know if I could definitely see the influence from what I've taught you in that, but it's still not exactly what I would do. Let me go to this figure 4, right? Because where you're grabbing it and how you're getting your pressure is really like all encompassing around the calf, like at that base of that gastroc, and you're here, you're squeezing like this, and it's really good pressure, right? I just worry that with this, you're either gonna have to break their whole bone.
Which I'm prepared to do.
Cool, I'm glad you are, but it's very difficult, right? So if you could get here, come under, shotgun it forward, and then come in,
Got it.
I feel like you'll already just take something that's good and improve upon it,
Got it.
right? So take it again, but this time, like, especially if I'm giving you so much of my leg,
So you talk come back here.
yeah, it's
Here.
already much better,
Okay.
right?
So go from here to to shotgun it.
Yeah,
You want to go here.
yeah, now that's really great.
So
And
push in and
yeah, now keep your figure 4, but at this point, go to your shoulder, go to your elbow, and now just try to see if just on the point of your elbow you can get hand lift, chest pressure, and then hip drive.
so hand lift, chest pressure. So chest pressure, which direction?
It's gonna be like kind of like an arching movement where you kind of roll your shoulders back behind your ears.
So here,
Yes.
and hip.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Got it.
Because if you're still looking at them like, did I get you? Did I get you?
Got it.
Your body is curved back here, as you can see from my back, whereas rolling your shoulders back really highlights that lifting mechanic. And now as your hips drive, you're in it. So it's almost like look away,
Okay.
right? Hannah, with yours, the only thing I want to make the small crit. Oh, nice little bubble. The only thing I want to make the correction on is when you get that lift, you have a tendency of dragging your hand across, and now your elbow's pointed down, right? So now this becomes a ramp, and their foot is sliding into this little pocket. Now, because of how the forearm tapers and gets fat, yeah, you want to keep them on your wrist, right? So the thing I want to suggest is, did we talk about shoulder shrug? Did we? That screen is going to get annoying real fast. Okay, so present your foot. So, if I go here, so first off, I'm going to just put my arm out like this, kick me in the armpit and hold it. Cool, as high as you can go. Alright, so now as I wrap, you are in my armpit as deep as you can go, right?
Yeah.
So when I go lift, why doesn't it hurt? Because it's squishy. Why is it squishy? I'll show you why. See how my shoulders are neutral? When you're trying to do this method and you're not trying to put an overall wrapping pressure like with Chris, I don't even know what that was, but here's the issue. I'm going to glue your foot to the side of my body like this. So your leg did not change levels, right? Now watch this, Chris. Is she actually under my armpit?
Yeah.
We call this the illusion of depth. So when I put my arm out like this, what you don't realize is my lat and the back of my tricep come forward, and my armpit is actually up in here, right? So my armpit is here, but you can see as you look in that that's the point that your foot's going to make contact with. And if you look, yes, it's squishy. So unless I were like super anorexic and just skeleton and no musculature, yeah, maybe that would work. But here's what happens. If I take my arm like this and I shrug my shoulder to my ear, did I now expose my armpit? So now watch this. I go from this to this. How much does it suck and I haven't done anything yet? Okay, now I'm just going to go shoulders back. Okay, cool. Let me borrow this. So, I'll borrow this one. So like I said, my game starts like this. I put my arm out. Kick me as high up as you can go. I'm not resisting. That's as high up as it can go. So when I wrap, here's the problem. I
You
can't,
get a whole hand worth of material in there, like literally.
because my armpit is actually starting here, but because of where my lat and my tricep go, I'm grabbing like this and it's low. I wouldn't finish a guillotine down here, so why would I finish my footlock here? Whereas if I do this, and I shrug my Now I get the foot much higher, and now just by wrapping, it's bad. And now by chest forward and hip, we can get that pressure. So how do we make this correction from here initially to there? Use your cupping mechanic on your free hand and roll your shoulder to your ear. Now plant your hand to your chest. Now roll the shoulder. And this whole yeah, but I want you to do that real quick. And there are 1,000 ways to skin a cat, but if you're going to use this method, I want you to do the shoulder shrug and lift. Yep, you feel it already. You can feel when you're doing this to me, the effectiveness increase, right? I'm not telling you to switch methods, I'm just going to give you more options.
I mean, this is, I appreciate it. So you're coming up, so you're coming up here.
So just hold it. So no. Keep the same hand, right? So now, if you're just going to do this method, understand that it's more about your, like a trash compactor effect. If you want to actually just lift on the Achilles tendon and do that style of lift, you're going to flare your elbow out and you're just going to lift your wrist up, right? But look, yeah, see how much higher you get my foot?
Yeah.
Now as you pick your hands up as high as you can, yep, that's it.
So you go here.
Yeah.
And then it's a roll
Yeah.
and a lift, and then all the other compression.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's some baseline stuff just to get you going. Now to move things along a little bit further, if you're going to do this one, which you can see me do in at least 2 of my matches, and then the majority of them are done this way, it's different tools for the job. I like getting a like almost a Kimura grip on the shin or a figure 4 lock on my body when it's either in the gi and I'm on the bottom going up, because that grip to grip where I push on their shin gives me a little bit more control. I'll do hand to hand lift more in like no gi, and that's actually where I get more of my straight ankle locks rather than my heel hooks, which is weird. Moving forward though, when we go to a side, if we put our weight to our elbow, we want to make our hips move, not our head and shoulders. So if my head and shoulders do this, but my hip stays in place, I'm not drawing the pressure through. Whereas wherever my feet go, if I keep this point here and I move my hips forward, that's how I'm getting my break. Okay, so hand up, present your foot. And I will loosen this up just to make it, I must move forward actually. And I will loosen this up just so that we can stress this. Okay? So, if I just lift a little bit with my shoulders while my hip stays, probably not going to tap. But if I keep my foot here and I move my hip forward, it's bad. And that's with my loose grip. Chris? You guys will do this for me. So like I said, if I just fall to my elbow here and I just move my shoulders, probably not going to get the tap. But if I push off of my foot and I move my hip forward, without doing anything and letting this even fold down, it got worse. Now if I can keep this high and then move my hips, it's a bad day. Okay, let's do a few. You go first, and then we'll do a quick review. So if you fall to your elbow, don't just roll your shoulders. So try to just roll your shoulders. Yeah, try to look over your shoulder, try to do all that. Yeah, I just don't care. Cool. Now, you can loosen your grip. You want to push off of here and off of this foot. You want to almost take your knees and drive them to this red line by pushing. Yep, you feel what just happened?
Is there a priority of movement? Do you go hips then shoulder? So when the rolling the back and the looking and the hip pressure, are you going to move those hips in tighter and then go ahead and roll those shoulders back and look behind, or are you going to roll? I mean, like, what is the priority?
What you said last is correct. First, you get a good catch. Once your catch is in place and your footwork then gets going, you're pushing off of their hip or pinning their hip. Either one works, right? We'll talk about the step over when we get to their reactions and our counters to their reactions. But when we get our footwork going, then it's going to be whether we're on our elbow or our shoulder or our head. Right now we're working with elbow. So when we go to our elbow and our feet are in place, then the last step is going to be hips, then shoulders. So order goes catch, side. Footwork is good. Hips, shoulder and look. One more each. Challenge yourself. Huh?
So there was another side.
Stupid stuff.
There is another side. Tap. Oh,
Oh, you want this?
oh yes.
So here,
So we'll talk about the step over next. So your X is under.
Yep, this is all jacked up.
That's okay, we'll do the step over next.
So this is here. This is, oh man.
Yeah, here.
Here. So the here should be the catch. Elbow, hips. and
So you
then-
see how you're crunched in? Try to drive your knees further this way. Yep, you feel it already?
I feel tighter, yeah.
Mhm.
And then so it's that pull and then lift.
Go for it. Good. So, that's the systematic approach to finishing it on the elbow. Now we'll talk about finishing it on the shoulder. When do we finish it on the shoulder?
When they turn to turn.
If we are too afraid of getting a wrist grip, or we're on that figure four or that Kimura style grip. When we're on that grip, because of what we do to connect, it draws our elbow in, so we can't fall on this elbow, right? We're gonna fall on our shoulder. We can't post on it the same way we would with that shrugged shoulder version. Where this, we can fall on this all day, right? When we get that high gi grip, we can do this all day. If we're going to the cross side grip, so same side lapel, pretty easy to keep the shoulder shrugged and elbow out. If I reach across my body there, you see how it draws my elbow in? Now I'm pretty much gonna fall to my shoulder. When we do that though, we're gonna have to rotate to our head and pull our elbow behind us. And that's gonna be really fun for your metatarsals. Because what you're doing is you're not just getting the foot here, you're gonna crunch the foot like a taco and turn it. And it feels wonderful. Okay? I will do this one time. This is on me. So, when I'm here, and I either dip down too low or I get to this grip, I fall to my side here. Now I'm gonna pull my elbow back. Not good, right? Prepare thyself.
I'm prepared.
So, I'm here, I don't go to my elbow, I go to my shoulder. Now I pull my elbow back. Yeah. And the more back I go on the foot,
It's like you pick up by your hair.
what's that?
It's like you pick up by your hair, you feel little strands like pulling like
Yeah. Alright, try it. Either side. Go to your shoulder. Now pull your elbow behind you. Yeah. Hips too. Yep. Don't forget the hips.
chips.
Other side. So you can get into your starting grip, your figure four grip. Your figure four grip will lead to you going to your shoulder more often.
Yeah. So here.
So now, yep, put your weight to your head. Yep, draw your elbow behind you. Yeah, yeah. And then you'll hit it. See where it comes from? That power? Okay, now the benefit of this is it almost leads perfectly to the belly down. And when we go to the belly down, we want to make sure that our other hand is free to catch us. You don't want to always go to your forehead first, because if I roll this way and then go to my forehead and then I'm up, it can be hard on the neck. If we have pre-existing neck injuries, that's probably not something we want to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hannah?
Yeah.
Or concussions? Don't put it your head first. So, I want to give you a quick cheat code. Did we talk about the fingernails? Not ringing a bell?
Supposed to be clipped, yeah.
Yes, but also no.
Mm-hmm.
Not what I'm talking. Yes to that, but not what I'm talking about. Did we ever talk about the fingernails? Okay. So let's say I get to my modified 3-point base position. Okay. And I'm on this mat, and I'm holding someone's foot, and I'm in some variation of an X. And now I need to draw my hips forward. Do I want my body to go over my post?
No.
No, because then it's not a post anymore, right? It's something that's going to collapse underneath me. So the problem is I need to draw my hips this way and almost put my belly button to the mat, but I can't do that without going over my post, right? Slide your hand, right? It's that simple, right? Just like when you're at Buffalo Wild Wings watching the UFC and someone says, just stand up. Right?
You're a bitch.
Yeah. It's easy. Just move your hand, right? Now watch this. Okay? So I can move my body when I want when I take my grip out of it. Now, here's,
That's cool.
trust me, we're going to try it.
That's pretty dope.
Trust me, we're going to try it. Now I can belly down. Okay? So, let me borrow your hand. Let's move this mat. Let's move them forward. For whatever reason, we're drifting like this way. Cool. It'll make do. All right, Hannah, let me borrow you.
I'll sit here.
Just face me. Just face me. Like playing guard. Okay. So pretending, I start my knee cut pass, and I'm like, nope, I'm going for a leg lock. Back step, and I grab this. When I go here, I want to draw my hips forward, but let's say my hand was here, right? I get my good pressure. I do my shoulder shrug. My hand's here, and I just can't finish here. Chris. And we'll do seven.
So the leg, ow. Ow.
Yeah, I'm not gonna name names while I'm on video, but we have had a lot of guests at Bellingham BJJ. All but 2 of them have smoked major amounts of weed while they've been in Bellingham. All but 2. I'll leave that to your imagination who those 2 that weren't were. And we've had lots of black belts who you would not expect. I was like, huh. But one of them got really, really high and then grappled and then had that exact effect. Ow. This is
jiu-jitsu hurts, bro.
This is why we don't do this. So, if I go to my belly down method, right, and I'm here, right, I want to really wrap this to me, but now I can't draw my hips forward, my hand won't move.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay, do this to me.
I like the entry.
Oh, we'll talk about the entries later.
I know, I'm just saying that entry is.
The back step in? Yeah.
That's pretty simple.
But first, just go to any belly down version you know for now, even if I just roll. Okay? Cool. So you're gonna go that way, right? And let's say I kick over.
Haha,
Now you're here, but you try to draw, right?
Yeah.
Get ready to slide and put your belly to the mat. Tap.
Really?
Yep. Really? Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. I can't.
Whichever side you feel most comfortable with.
This is what Steve did. So here, and then as you go here.
Sure.
So you here.
Yeah, so just try to finish with your hand where it's at. Okay, cool. It's good pressure. I'm not gonna lie, it's really good pressure. But with your weight on your hand, try to slide your hand.
No, I'm posted, yeah.
Okay, now claw your fingernails underneath and slide. Tap. So you're gonna see finishing details, high shoulder, not falling to a side, chest pressure, head up, and lift, right? You're gonna see that figure 8 method is really about a squeeze and then shoulders rolling back. Good. Now, high elbow falling to the side, or sorry, high shoulder falling to the side. Feet planted, hips forward, then chest. Okay? How we change that if our elbow is in, we go to our shoulder, then to our head, then we're peeling this back. And we're folding it while we're putting that pressure on it as well. If we continue the movement and we go to belly down, we need to draw ourselves out. Now, one thing else worth mentioning, if I can't draw my weight out forward, where else can I draw my weight to get my hips low? This doesn't work for me because I've got the hips of an aging golden retriever, but I'll show you anyway.
Don't say that.
Oh, you love golden retrievers.
No, I just don't want to have to shoot you in the back behind the shed.
So, this is especially prevalent if when my single leg X gets pushed off, and then they try to like sit over the foot, and then it forces me to do the step over. So now when I get to my step over version of the belly down, I still have this, right? So now as I turn, I go foot to the body, foot to the thigh. Now, if I don't want to go forward, and I want to get my hips down, I go knees wide.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? So we have two methods. I can draw my hips forward this way, right? Or I can draw my hips forward by dropping my knees out. That method doesn't work well for me because my knees will go from here to literally here, right? And that's what I got. So this is for me. But I want to show you everything because if it works for you, great. Just like I don't do omoplatas. I know how to fucking teach them though. Right?
Really? You don't do applause? Applause?
Not really. I've hit one in my whole career. Also only hit one cross stroke and you were both present for that.
Really?
Yeah. My very last match. Scott
Oh,
Horn.
yeah.
It's my first and only cross stroking competition. It was my walk-off home run as a black belt. Try it.
Okay, so we're doing the.
So let's say, yeah,
So leg X.
let's say I sit over, you step over, so now you're here, right? So, as you build your head out, right, so that you're not, so go to your forehead, right? Good, now from here, if you can't make your body go further, widen your knees and drop your hips. Yep. Feel it?
Yeah.
Try it.
It felt like it came like a little loose, but it felt like it had more of an angle on it.
Whichever side.
Thinking I have like dog shit sensitivity, so I'm a little bit.
Step over, go to knees. So now, keep your pressure against my thigh. You're not going to move your head or your hands. You're just going to widen. Yes. Cool.
Okay.
So, you might have more success doing this. You might have more success doing that. And now you don't have to worry about like them taking your back, whatever else. Okay. So those are finishing details. All of those are just going to be a part of your script when you run your code. So you're like backslash whatever, enter, boom, you do it, right? But now you have to learn those commands to then start the prompt. So you now have initiated your line of code that you eventually want to achieve, which is that finish. Now, how do we get there? So we're going to do top down, neutral, and bottom up entries. So, and then towards the end we'll do the defenses and stuff, and we'll talk about what is good, what is not. So let's start with top down. Since you were mentioning it, let's kick this forward so you can mind the gap. I know Joe has a mat tape somewhere, but
Should I throw some with him?
I ain't gonna find it.
The 3-inch mat tape.
Yeah, I ain't worried. If I don't see it right here, I'm not gonna sweat it. Yeah, don't care. So, let's do top down. So Hannah, I'm gonna open your guard. We're gonna do before I start my pass, in the middle of my pass, and then after I pass because I'm greedy. Okay? So, you're gonna put me in close guard. Let's actually turn this way because you have that filming.
Mhm.
Are you just borrowing his video after?
Yeah, I'll push it.
Okay, cool.
And to you if you want.
Nah. I'm like Pee Wee Herman. I lived it. So, however you're initiating your guard break, whether you're doing like elbow to the side, knee up, or you're just doing hands on the hip, knee out, knee under, step back, rotate. When I go here, the litmus test for when I should or shouldn't, like that gauging of the quality is going to be, is her foot lower than my hip? Just pass, don't be greedy. Is her foot on my hip or higher? Totally ankle lock that fool, right? And here's why. Me trying to scoop something low is me reaching. And that's greedy in general, and just bad jujitsu. But if it's here, you can also see how it's going to be hard for me to bring my knee through or over, right? So it makes my guard passing difficult. Just picking up my thigh makes this shelved. Whereas if I go here and I go to pick up my knee, she might just swivel out and go to butterfly hug, right? So I've got to be careful and mind that space. So once I break and I go here, if her foot is on my thigh, I'm doing that same style of shotgunning back and here, right? And now I have my foot next to her hip, but I need to get my other leg up. So when I come up, I kick, sit, and I'm it. And now I can go through the rest of my script. So if it's high shoulder or figure four, right? And then that's the rest.
Yep.
let's talk about 2 others off of this, and then we'll do all 3 as we drill. So we can go 1, 2, 3.
Ooh, I won't drill, dude. That's not cool. Whoa, hey, dude, hey, easy. Don't be ridiculous. It's going real well into that shit. I was good.
Do you know, oh God, what's his name? There's an Australian black belt, not Craig Jones, not Lachlan. Oh God, what's his name? Now I'm blanking. But he like tries to tell people, don't drill, it's worthless.
Dude, yeah, that's some, whatever.
That is the dumbest thing I've ever
People
heard.
say dumb shit all the time, man. People
Yeah.
believe the fucking earth slap or whatever.
Yeah, so,
Except for Crazy Mike. That guy, he gets my vote for president. Crazy Mike's awesome.
okay. Which crazy Mike are we talking about?
He's the guy that built his own rocket using math he doesn't believe in to go to space to see if the earth is flat. I like doers, you know what I'm saying? He's crazy, but he's a doer.
Her foot's on my hip. Her foot's on my hip. So I broke, I step back, her foot's on the hip. I slide back, I step up. Now, this is just to maintain, right? And I can kind of steer and see. If she does something stupid, we rebin this bitch, right? Like, they turn this way, we're violently throwing this through and over, right? But the dark arts will stay hidden for another day. But now, as I put my weight onto my foot, and I'm driving forward, I kick. Sit, step. And how I build myself up to that frog stance was, I went knee out, knee in, step back, twist. The foot's here, I brought it up, and now as I just bring my weight forward, here, just.
Are you like hip, or are you like managing the, I guess like the elevation of that hip as you step in? Are you trying to keep that plane?
No,
Okay.
no, I am gonna elevate and then drop.
Got it, okay.
So it's not like I can go from
You want to create space for
hips
yourself?
here to magically hips here
Yeah,
without coming up.
got it.
Right? So, in the course of me just going from ballerina feet to here, to half active, right? So this foot went active, to now this is active, to now breaking, to then here, to here, right? That's a lot of movements. Even just like when I'm teaching guard break, this movement right here, people struggle with that shit.
Mm-hmm.
So,
One of the first questions I asked.
yeah, the reason why my toes on both feet get like so chewed up is because of how much active toes I use. That's a good problem to have. It's like, oh man, my feet are getting so chewed up from all of my active toes.
Like
Like,
pressure I'm generating.
from all the matches I'm winning.
Yeah.
Oh god. I wish I could find a better way about this.
I'm just so tired of crushing it like this all the time, man. Anyway, what are we doing?
I would also like to point out that when we showcased pressure the other night, I taught last night at Kogan, and I tapped out 6 of the 12 people that grappled with just side control pressure.
Oh
And one of them was Jason. Because he
Just for
was,
fun.
well, no, he was talking major shit because I tapped out like 2 other people before that, and I was like, I'm just gonna do everybody. And he's like, not gonna do me. I was like, watch this.
yeah. Later, brother. Yeah. See you in a little bit.
Here lies Jason. His last words were. So, we're going to talk about just the standing up first and right from there. Then we're going to initiate a guard pass and then do it. And then we're going to pass and then we're going to do it anyway. Okay? So, that's 1. Hannah, one more time. I'm going to use you for all 3 examples, then I'll do Chris so you can see it, and then we're going to try it.
Starting from guard or?
So, we ended up here,
Yes.
right? And you see how at no point did I ever go, Jim Kelly says, feet, knees, hips to pass.
Yeah.
Notice I never beat your knees. I only beat your feet before I went here, 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 right? Okay. Now I'm gonna beat your knees. So, let's guard. I go out, I go in, I come back. Now, as I bring my knee up, and I'm starting to beat this here, okay? I got halfway to passing. I pinned this leg came up to almost knee shield, so then I brought it up.
And that's active, not frog hook. Okay, active.
Yep. And now I'm going to shift my whole weight back. But when I do that, this hand comes back with a Y frame, goes inside on the knee, to then come in.
So I'll bring you back on guard.
okay? And then last but not least, I'm going to pretty much pass her guard, and then say, fuck it, I'm gonna ankle lock you anyway. Alright? So,
Look, this is where you make up style points. You're like, you passed the guard, you went back for the foot. Mm-hmm. That's how it happens.
now, nobody and their mother would be like, you didn't pass, right? All I've gotta do now is this. But, I'm here. This foot is already cleared. I'm gonna put it back in. Because it's called a hokey pokey, right? Put your right foot in, you put your right foot out.
Is it really called hokey pokey?
No.
What is now? Hokey pokey? The hokey pokey leg lock?
What are you, Chris?
It's like, what? You doing the what? Hokey pokey leg lock, dog?
Let's turn this way. So, I'm in your guard.
Good.
So, we're here. I have your hips pinned, knee goes out, knee comes under. I step back and I sink, I twist. I only beat your feet so far. But because your foot is above my hip, and go. Now, I break, and now as I'm coming up, and I'm going to pass this way, this knee starts to come up, it comes inside. Yeah, like you're going into shield. And I scoop, wide frame here, shift back. So I'd beaten that knee. I was halfway to passing. And then I went. And I usually do this in that format. If I go to leg staple, which is that same side over, or the knee drive pass, same leg, or sorry, same side rather than same leg, I'm still attacking this leg. If I do knee cut, left over left, still gonna be this leg. So here, under, step back, twist. Now I'm setting up my knee cut. Boom, I go here. I might even step so that he really puts his frames up. And I'm like, sweet, back step, hook.
Let it bitch. Suck.
Right?
Suck it.
Alright, let's do all three.
And there's no beat there whatsoever.
No. No, this is all ankle locks.
No, like, I'm just saying, there's no even fear of,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
like,
Alright,
you
you wanna
turn
go
around like
first?
that, it's like, yeah.
Cool. So,
So this is the back and
Cool.
twist, and then
so
this is
my foot's up, so Josh, step forward. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Now, you get your break. Now start a knee drive, like this knee is gonna drive to this side. As that happens, I come this way. So now pick it up here.
How, so are you're pushing in like
You
this,
can,
or
here,
how
you
do you-
can shelve it.
Oh, dude, that's way easier than what I was doing. I was doing like one of these guys.
Yeah.
So you're just gonna go, no.
Yeah.
And then you're just,
Yes, but come back, because think about it like this. When you're rock climbing, you want redundant safeties. You finally get this foot to where you need it. Yes, so that's why we're gonna come back here, and we're gonna keep this leg pinned as this then kicks in and steps over.
can you bring them across?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I like the idea of like going into a space I create rather than like into, you know what I mean? Like if I can go over here and then I just come over here.
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Okay? And now last but not least, you're going to break and you're going to knee cut. Now, from here, step over, and you're winning, right? But hold on, go back. Leave your hook where it was, right there. Drop your hip to my hip, right? But don't rotate. Just yeah, you're here. Now look, all it takes is you to let go of this hook and slide your hip to the mat. Do that. You passed. Okay? Now,
Felt dirty. I don't want to be there.
cool. Now you're gonna step back behind my ankle with this foot. You're gonna grab, hold on. You're gonna grab from the top. So you're gonna go 4 fingers this way and scoop around the front of my foot and lift it up your shin.
Left or right hand?
Right hand, now lift it up your shin and to your hip. Yep.
So, and then what is this hand doing?
It's gonna come around and spot.
So you said spot?
Post your weight.
So I'm here, and then this is gonna go here.
And as you do, that knee, no, this knee stays, that other knee goes to the floor. And now you get your belly down.
Oh, gotcha. So this would be the.
For you,
This
it would be
one.
the fingernails and the drive.
Gotcha.
Yep. We'll do all 3 of those again after Hannah starts. pass, go back. You're like, don't pass. Okay, so you break.
Suckers.
You see how you went shin up?
Yeah.
Not yet. You're pushing my foot off of you, right? You want to scoop it in and wrap it. So, you're going to have to tell yourself, I'm proactively trying to win here versus I need to get points. Okay? Let's say you're up 8-4.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Dave. If you just win, but you had no points,
You win.
you still win, right?
Yes.
Let's make sure. Okay.
So here's the thing.
Still know this.
Here's the thing. Before someone hits me with a Harry Potter reference, the golden snitch doesn't win you the game, it's just 150 points and it ends the game. So, if you had 0 points and the other team had 160 and you catch the golden snitch, you now have 150 points, the game ends and the other team still has 160 and you lose.
I didn't.
This happened in the books in Goblet of Fire when Victor Crumb was playing the Irish.
How do you remember this dumb shit?
And that is not dumb shit.
That's fucking way
That's
dumb
really
shit.
important.
Victor Crumb ended the game but lost for the Bulgarians.
Bulgarians.
Because he.
Because he caught the snitch before his team could even get enough points to get
To beat the other team.
the added points. So,
They lost by 10.
submissions ends the game and you win. Catching the golden snitch does not make you win.
And
So,
then the Dark Mark got thrown, and yeah. And it's just,
I'll tell you when you're older. So break the guard, but don't push my leg away. You're pushing my leg away. Break my guard with the knee and the butt pass. Good. Now scoop it up. Bring your foot a little far forward. No, not so much. Just enough to where you can drive to a frog stance. Nope. If you throw yourself into it, there's more chance of you losing the foot. So, drive forward to a frog stance, sit. Now fix your feet. Kick and step. Good. Let's do that one again. Right? Yep. Yeah. Okay, now let's move it along. So in the next, you're going to break. Now you're going to start to pass with a knee drive. Well, I want you to knee drive on this side to see what happens. So bring this shin up and start to pass over here. And you see how my knee wants to come in? Scoop from the bottom, scoop around and lift. Now, when you go to drive this foot over here, yep, kick and sit. Good. Okay? And then before we start repping this, do the last one. Now you're going to knee cut. And you're going to knee cut on this side. Knee cut this way. Good. Up, don't give it up yet, right? So you still want your underhook. And now that you keep it here. You can even walk your foot forward. Nope. Underneath, like push my foot out. Reach for my shin. Lift it up. Now your hands can come forward. Yep. But you're going to have to go to knees. Right? And then you're going to do your method, which is either splaying your knees or drop. Yep, that works. Let's practice these. So, grab each other. I'll coach you on target.
So here, and then as this comes up.
So just look. Stay there. Lift your right foot. Yep. Now walk. Yes, now sit and step. Good. Alright. On the next one, you're going to do a knee drive with your left leg. So you do the same break, and now you're going to go left leg over, and she goes to try and shield, right? When that happens, lift, scoop, block, step. Nice. Good. And then on the next one, it's the knee cut. And this is where we get sinful.
Yeah, so we're gonna go here.
So do a knee cut. Good. Now step your right foot behind her foot. Yes. Now scoop over the top, so just scoop with your palm. Lift it up. Yes. Yep. All right, Hannah.
Small leg spirited.
Yep. It's all right.
just means when you have.
You'll both get better because of it. step, sit. Good. Next one is going to be knee drive. Yep. When he comes in for the shield, you're going to lift his knee, scoop, go back with your Y-frame to step over, out, in. Nice.
That's fucking good.
Okay. Now let's move over a little bit so you have some space for the knee cut, because you're going to knee cut this way, I'm guessing, right? Okay. So you break. Now, when you start your knee cut, keep your hand on the hip. Yep. Keep your drive. Get your knee all the way over. Now, once you get to the foot, you take your right hand off frame to the floor, foot back, splay your knees. Good. All right. One more time each. And then we have to do neutral.
So it's gonna be a little while. So it's like a push pull here.
Yep. Yes, nice. And then the knee cut. Once your hand makes it to her foot, lift it up, then your hand comes over. Yep. Put your knee to the floor, and then you would do the drive if there was space with mats. Hammer. Start with just the step up method. The knee comes in front, lift his knee, scoop it, back step Y-frame. Yep. We know where we gotta fix that. Yep. So instead of thumb in,
You wanna redo it?
4 fingers down. You could redo it. So knee drive. Now we scoop, lift, Y-frame, step out. Nice. Okay. Then it's going to be knee cut. Once you can grab his foot, your other hand comes to the mat.
I felt really tight, man. That was good.
Knee down. Yeah. Finish. Knee down, splay the knees. Good. Okay. So those are top-down entries. Now, you're going to see that there are only 2 neutral entries. Now, in the future, when people learn how to, like, just move on their asses without ever having feet,
Butthole guard.
butthole guard. Yeah, it's going to, like, when I heard worm guard, at first I was, in my head, like, before I knew what worm guard was, I
Thinking
was like,
worms.
oh, like, they're dogs. They got worms, so they're like doing this.
Sick.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So when I say neutral, what I mean is no one's eye elevation is higher than the other person's eye elevation. So how do we get leg locks from positions like that? Usually it happens during a double guard pull, right? Where we're in a position like that, or the 50-50.
What's a double guard pull? Oh, both people.
Okay.
I'd walk up and I'd be like, fuck this bitch. Like,
Why? Because they thought the same thing as you thought? It's like when we both throw a rock and rock, paper, scissors, right?
no, I mean, I would just.
You shouldn't pull guard.
Yes.
If you don't pull guard, that won't
I
happen.
make this promise to you, Danny. I will never fucking pull guard.
I pulled guard in more than half of my matches.
Dave, I will never pull guard for you.
For me. Okay, hear me out though. There are 2 times when there will be neutral positions for legs. Either during a double guard pull or when there's already a relevant entanglement. Now the relevant entanglement I'm using today is the 50-50, just because I'm going to show you the move that I got banned from US Grappling because they're going to put it back on the books soon. And I want you guys to be able to do it when it gets live and active again. So the first is from the double guard pull. Now, I'm going to start with a drill. You remember this, okay? Hands back a little bit further. There are little windows under her knees, right? And my feet both occupy the center stage. My hands are at my sides, and I'm just doing this to start. Right? Now, what's going to happen? I pick one, foot to the instep to the hindquarters, other leg kicks in, Now, I need my knee to go through. Now, I need my foot to go to her hip, and I need her foot to go onto my hip. I'm not going to use my hands. My thigh does all of it. Then I would pinch. Now I let go. Retrieve. Yep. Okay. We're going to do this drill a few times. I know you've done this, but I want to catch you up. Have you seen this before?
I've never seen that before in my life.
Okay, let's do it.
Sick.
Here, can you show me first?
Yep.
So inside leg stays close to the hindquarters.
Yep. Keep it up on the message German.
Sure.
Tell we don't rip his lights off. No.
So it's just, so it's here, 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 and it's not here, and then as I.
Just think about it for a second.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's pretty. Pinch.
Your thighs do all the work. Cool. Okay? Now, before I show you the other neutral entry, let's talk about some troubleshooting and why this is important. Because, like I said, this either happens off of a double guard pull or in the presence of an already existing entanglement. Now, did I specify whether that entanglement was theirs or ours? No, I will say it again. In the presence of any leg entanglement, I will do my neutral entry, right? Now, here's what happens. Talking about troubleshooting. Let's say you've seen my defense for the straight ankle lock with the step over.
Is that the step over and out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. So, let's say, for example, let's move forward. Hannah decides that when I roll to the side, she does the step over. Now step. Now hold on. Yep, catch it, and stop. Now, when she goes to kick this, her hips will probably lift. Watch my right foot. Kick and go. Okay?
Yo, I do that shit all the time.
Yeah. So now we fall this way, she kicks and goes. And now all we've done is this drill where we learn to kick through and go,
Yeah.
kick through and go. So this is our toggle. Now that we know how to toggle from leg to leg, we're good. Now, what if they don't do the step over? If they don't do the step over, that's dealing with one leg, they might do the push and sit. If they do the push and sit, our other way to toggle the position, this one to start. If she pushes my foot and sits over it, I check this leg, and I step over. I still drive this knee through, and now we're done. Okay? Because now that this leg is here, where is she going?
Absolutely nowhere. What the hell?
To the hospital, right? Or we just go belly down. So, let me borrow you so you can feel it. So, when we fall, you do the kick over. When you do the kick over, go for it. Yeah, kick out. Yeah, kick out. Lift your hips, right? Or are you just gonna sit there?
So when I typically do it, so I dig it out with my heel. So you're here, I'm back. I'm actually back here. So I can actually sit in, and then I try to do like one. I try to beat the whole leg.
I don't know how good that's gonna be though. Like, are you gonna beat my hook? Okay, well, show me how you finish. I'm just
Or,
gonna,
how I defend or how I finish?
how you defend.
Yeah, so I'm here.
And go all the way through to where you
Yeah,
wanna
and
go.
then I come in here. And then and then I'm here, and then,
Okay, I'm gonna do something, simple, but we need to move this way.
yeah.
And you wanna stay over there. Let's come back. So, you come here, you're doing this.
Yeah.
Yep, cool. Yep,
So I come in here.
awesome. The second you left this foot,
Oh, sick.
I knock you over and I take it anyway.
Okay.
Because you didn't clear my legs.
Mhm.
Or sorry, you didn't get to a position where I have your foot and you're past my hips, like in the mount. Whereas, Hannah, can I borrow you? If you had stayed posture up like before, I was gonna take you overhead, but that's okay. Where was I going with this? No, I'm gonna do the kick over, right? So, you come here, you wanna come up, and she wants to go to mount. Because now if I have this, my legs are behind her,
Got it.
and I can't do anything.
So go mount,
Now,
not to like side.
Transfer to this side, Hannah. Kick this leg over. Right, bring this forward so I don't hurt your knee. Yeah, like how Chris did, so go to the flat of your foot, yep, cool. So now, if she just stays here, even if she like gives me a crossface or whatever, it doesn't mean I can't just hit into her hip.
Got it.
Bump her over, right? Shrimp out, and then bring my legs
Get it
back
right
in.
back. Got it.
Whatever I want, right? You wanna bypass completely and control their hips. If you just go to the side, you're not doing enough.
Got
So
it.
get my foot. So when she falls to her side, and I bring this method in, the reason why I use the hook rather than the foot is because the foot gives her space to bring her foot back in.
Got it. Okay.
So just do an 8-meter drill, like with your feet, and bring this through, and kick my leg off. Now she can do the Elio Greasy Master Tex ankle lock, right? Whereas, pinch your knees together. Whereas if I bring the lip of my knee over, and I kick back, now pummel your foot through,
Got it.
okay? So that's why we do that method, it's a little bit more foolproof. More importantly, when they lift their hips for that, there is actual timing for us to counter. But it's like, I'm not gonna try to change good jujitsu just because there is a counter prevalent. If they know the counter, good, that means we're having a conversation with our body language. I did a move, you do a move. I do a move, you do a move. Great, that's good jujitsu. But if I do a big movement that is just flawed, I'm not really in the conversation.
Got it.
So don't be afraid to use the knee over method.
My dad's an airplane pilot. Like, no one's fucking talking to you. Like,
Don't be afraid to do the knee over method because there is this built-in counter. I'll show you how to do it better. Because, Hannah, you're gonna do the toggle. So you're attacking me. Okay? So as I go over here, if I bring my knee over and I do a big lift, she kicks, she transfers. She kicks, she transfers. Now I'm not gonna give her the ability to do it. I go over this way. I never lifted my hips until I got past her knee. Okay? So, if you have a feeling like the person is good at this, you won't lift your hips. But if you feel like they're not good at this, definitely just blow by them. Okay? But this is why the toggle is important. And I want to show one other thing, which is the step over, right? So like I said, if they beat the top knee, great. Actually, let me do this so you can see the feeling. So if I'm here, and instead of doing the step over, you push my foot to the ground and you sat over the top, I check your far side knee, and I step through. Okay, now escape.
yeah, I'm kind of fucked.
Oh, whatever you want.
Yeah, I'd have to clear this. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna escape before the submission's on unless I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't need that foot.
Yeah. Okay, so let's do a few of those, and then we'll do some bottom up.
Go for it.
Let me see what Jeremy and Rob Martin said.
So as you go, so you go here, and then I go here, and then here. Well, should you go to the side? So you go here to the side,
The
right?
step over? Yeah, she wants to, so hold on. Which one are we doing?
I don't know.
Okay, hold on. Start from
We're
scratch.
doing the step over, not the,
Yeah.
Start,
not the
start,
sit over.
start from scratch. Let me make you guys some more space. Alright. Alright, so which one? Start from scratch. So you're gonna fall to this side. He brings his knee over. As his hips lift, kick under and switch. So kick, Chris, and lift your hips. No. So you see how you're trying to turn over? The trick to this is when she takes this foot and I go to kick here, I'm trying to come up.
Got it, okay.
Like a Turkish get up.
Okay.
Okay? And that's when she's waiting for the timing to get underneath you.
Okay, so as you, you're here, right? And then I go here.
Yes. Now she transfers.
Okay.
Okay? Yep. Good. Okay, good. Now on this one, Chris, instead of kicking over, you're gonna push your foot down, sit over. Now step over, Hannah. Right foot. So you just drove your shin. I would rather you bring your whole foot over the top. Okay? I'll show you what I mean. I'll show you what I mean.
Meme or mean?
I'll show you what I mean.
Meme.
I didn't know there, yeah,
It's called learning.
He's gonna pull, and because my knee is already up, he's an idiot.
Oh, this is the S one.
Yeah, this is the rapist.
Really?
Yeah. So, is his foot on my hip?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna grab my gi nice and high. I'm gonna do the slide in, foot over. Okay, so now he's gonna do the push over and sit. So I still have his foot, so I do the step over again. This time when he goes to step over, my foot comes over the top. Okay, now that my foot's over the top, we're going belly down. And goodbye foot. So you see how the back and forth until it's like, okay, we're done here. And you step over. And now you only go to belly down. Can the belly down get beat? Abso-flogging-lutely. Let's see if I have the better move. No. December. Okay. You were both here for this. But now that you just did this lesson, it might be worth it for you guys to see it again. This is a top-down entry. He's going to throw a flying triangle. His foot's going to be above my waist. And then I just do the step in. First off, don't do a flying triangle. Okay. So now I have his foot's clearly above my hip. I just step in, and that's the whole match. And you see how it was hips and then shoulders?
Yeah.
Cool. Alright, so, I don't want to make your heads explode, but I still need to give you two more things. First is this. The step over leads to the belly down, and we talked about neutral entries. What did I say about 50-50? Right? If we can force them to either cross feet or foot on foot, we won with a straight ankle lock. Cool? Cool. Because fuck 50-50, right? So if we're here, we're just going to cup the leg with two hands. I'm going to hip forward as I pull this. I make them cross their feet. Now from here, since I was down here, I slide under. And I have this. If I slide it all the way through to a rear naked choke,
So that's considered a straight ankle.
straight ankle lock. Where's the twist on the knee? Where's the rotation of the foot? Okay? I got this move banned from US grappling.
Wow.
So come here. Because it looks like a heel hook.
Yeah.
Okay, let me do it on this side, just so Hannah can see it from a different point of view. So look, either your feet are on your foot's on top of your foot, right? If you cross, I just dig and go. Now put your foot on top of your foot, like right here. Cool. So I'm gonna grab here and here. My hip's gonna go forward as I pull this back. Okay? So now I've made you go to a triangle. I'm gonna bring this all the way up, and I either come under, straight ankle lock, or rear naked choke. Okay? 50-50. Do you have a preference on which side you want to get your grip? Right hand or left hand? Okay. I'll give you your right hand. So, if I'm here, yep, go all the way underneath, all the way. Yeah. Now, go to a gable grip, switch your gable. There you go. Now pull this forearm in front of my knee. So, yes. Okay? Now, dig it all the way to a rear naked choke and fall to your shoulder. Elbow deep, fall to your shoulder, rear naked choke it. If you could do the mantra layout, you could do this move. Alright? Would you want to do it on your right side?
Sure. So I'm here.
So we're 50-50 here, right? Now look, let's say I'm here, you're gonna cup my ankle, cup my knee with your other hand, you're gonna hip forward, and you're gonna make me cross. Now, before you just lock it anywhere, drive with a forward thrust on your bicep until my foot is behind my knee. Yes, now you see how it's in your working space?
Yeah.
Good. So now hit a gable grip, this hand, guys, has to be the bottom. Now as you roll this forearm in front of my shin, you win. Tap. Okay, that's it.
Oh, so you're not pulling it back. You're just gonna, like, this is just fucking
Yeah.
monster. This is like leverage on leverage on leverage.
Yeah, okay. So now,
So as you're here, you're just, got it.
good. Now, dig it deep again. Now, go to a rear naked choke grip and fall to your shoulder. Now just rear naked choke. Okay? But be careful, because as you do this to me, if I am better at it than you,
Yeah. It's not that big.
right? So don't cross your feet when you fall, because you were doing that, right?
What do you do with your feet? What do you do with your feet?
So go for it on me,
I don't have to do
Hannah.
with my feet then.
Go for it on me. Okay, cool. If she's here, what she wants to do is she wants to hide this foot. Because I'm not gonna hit a toe hold here, I'm not gonna do any kind of foot fold here, right? It's too hard. But the second this foot gets put anywhere on top or wrapped, I might be able to do it. So she just needs to keep this through so that I'm not rolling, right? When she falls to her elbow, this is a fucked position for me.
That's good.
So,
So we're doing 50-50?
yep.
Chris is gonna go get a bag for you again.
Cool.
No. So as you're here, right?
Mhm.
So, and then this is just, so this is a pull and a push.
Yeah. Yep.
So here,
Shoot it all the way behind my leg. Now you have better control.
so here, and then here, and or here.
Now shoot it to a rear naked choke and lift.
Yep.
Yep. Now,
And then
see,
just keep
I can't
this.
do anything. Because what am I going to do here, right? I can't get a toe hold from this position. It's not in a great spot.
Gotcha. So, is that a pretty safe place to hide, kind of like the?
From the 50-50.
Okay.
Yeah, because if we just go 50-50 naturally, watch this. We're 50-50, right? You see how we're both sitting
Yeah,
upright?
we're both, yeah.
Okay, cool, we're both in on heel hooks. The reason why people put their foot on top is so that you can't dig my heel. The other thing is because I'm gonna turn your hip. Now it's 90-10, right? Like, I have 90% of the power, you have 10% of the power. Now put your heel to the floor. This heel, the one that's being attacked,
Yeah.
right? If I got there first, it's gonna be hard to take back.
Yeah.
So the reason why we start here is because one of us is gonna try to kick our heel and turn our knee.
Does that mechanic work? So as you're
So
pushing,
as I'm going for it,
Yeah.
you gotta rotate your hip and go. Ready?
so that was not
Yeah,
bad, right? So,
yeah.
but as you push it,
Yeah.
got it. Okay.
Make sense?
Yep.
Yeah.
It sure as fuck does.
Cool.
Makes a lot of sense.
Alright. So now we wanna go bottom up. We can do butterfly lift, we can do any kind of butterfly lift or any kind of shin on shin. So Hannah, if you're standing or above me in any capacity, right? Right? I'm either butterfly or what we call shin on shin. Okay? Now, I'm gonna do something really dumb here. And I'm gonna grab my foot. Were you in Brazil when I was doing this?
Maybe, yeah.
Does this ring a bell?
Yeah.
I was doing this to 50,
Yeah.
to deep half.
Yeah.
Okay. So, take a knee for the sake of argument on that side. I'll just do it from here. Let's move forward. So I don't know if the camera gets everything, but I'm here and I'm hugging, right? I'm gonna shoot this foot through And next thing you know, Hannah's gonna be a deep. I'm gonna do this as an example first. Okay? And I did this to 1 million Brazilians. That's a lot of Brazilians.
That's
A
like,
million
I
Brazilians.
wish I could say that was like anywhere near a percent, but there's just like that.
1 million Brazilians.
Brazilians. It is kind of fun to say.
Yeah.
1 million Brazilians.
So now,
Brazilians.
so now here's the thing you need to understand. From this position, I don't have to lift and rotate. I can lift, elevate, cut, kick. Okay? And we can do, yeah, I see the smile. It's okay to be happy, Hannah. Especially when it's diabolical. Come to a combat base. So now, whose eye height is higher?
Mine.
Yeah, so this is bottom up. Just so you understand the power here. Get your foot back. Right? And we're in deep half now. And you're like, well, I didn't want that. Cool, well, this is you now. Right? Okay, so now come back. Now how am I doing this to the leg entanglement that we want, the single leg X? Once I'm here, I can put pressure, I can rotate your foot off the ground. Once your foot's airborne, I kick and pull. Okay? Now, I don't want to kick this foot through because I'll get charged with reaping, right? So I've got to turn you over. And because of this pinch that we talked about in the very beginning, not this, I can rotate your knee in any direction I want. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Let's try a few of this. If you want to go to deep half with it, have fun. Easier than you thought? Yeah, just wait till we do the mount.
So this is, so you're here,
Same side grabs.
you're here.
Yep.
And then are you full, like, how are you keeping this?
You're, yeah, just grab it however it feels comfortable. I just typically grab my big toe. Like, legitimately watch this. Let's turn our angle, Hannah.
Really small feet.
It was like, God damn it, Dave. That was like the most elaborate setup in the world. But, just gonna grab my big toe. That's all I need. So, do I have to grab the whole bottom of my foot? Nope, just anywhere you can. And I usually go crab claw on the top. Because, although this feels better, I don't need my elbow that deep. I like this. I like my elbow on my shin as opposed to past it. Because this has a lot more space, believe it or not, even though the grip feels better. The grip doesn't actually feel bad here, but this feels like control. Okay. Because now look at the seal I have around her shin. There's very little space here. So as I rotate my toes up and my heel down, my forearm is pushing pressure in this way to lift her foot. And now I can extend it, grab, shoot down, and pull, right? Sit her happy ass down, go here, do the step over, fingernail method if I wanted to, right? Whatever. Just you insert your finish.
Is there anything here? Choose your own ending.
Yeah. For realsies.
So we're going big toe grip.
So roll to your right a little bit. Now grab her heel, kick your foot in. Yes. Now rotate this way. Yes.
And then just.
And have beer.
I'd have a beer.
Have a beer. Yeah.
I'd have a dart. Relax.
Have a beer.
Yeah. Yep. Cool. Now watch this. Chris, you're gonna mount me. Alright. So, if I bridge and get your hands to the mat, good fundamentals would say I build a seatbelt, I get my elbow to the floor, I rotate my hips, your foot's over my knee, I'm not gonna do an elbow escape. I do a abdominal crunch to push your foot past my knee. Now I do my elbow escape. Right? Okay, good. We're now blue belts. So, you'd be surprised at how many black belts I see that I would not have given a black belt to. Right? But I get to here, and I start pushing, and I get my knee underneath, but I keep my foot to my butt. Okay? So now I went from being mounted to now I have you in single leg X. Hannah? You mount. I bump, I get your weight to the floor, I have your little seat belt. I turn this way, your foot's over my knee, I'm not gonna go for it. So I do my little crunch, now that your foot's past my knee, elbow escape. But if my heel goes to my tailbone and I keep it here, it turns into a butterfly hook. Now, think of this as lanes. Right now, her lane for her spine is directly over mine. Her knee is over here. I'm going to use my right foot to push my weight over and change lanes. So now, there is nothing from her lane over mine. So now as I lift, insert, catch. Got it? Need to see it again? Good.
Can I see one more time? Please?
Yeah. Full speeder with all the bells and whistles.
I like it.
Okay, alright. So I've bridged her forward. I've got a seatbelt, I've got my elbow down. When I turn my hips over, I'm gonna feel whether or not her foot is on top of my knee. So when I have to do that first initial push, okay, cool, now my knee is under. As I drive, I don't want my whole leg to go out, so if I kick my foot, I'm just gonna get it halfway. If I bring only my knee and leave my foot inside, I get butterfly. I use my foot that was still on the floor to rotate and lift. I grab the foot, hike it up, 2 butterfly hooks. Now, I kick the first one out and rotate. What?
Two butterfly hooks. Like, oh shit, more butterfly hooks.
So many butterfly
How many
hooks!
butterfly hooks are there?
And we get a shot.
More butterfly. Sorry, I was being a lamp with it, sorry.
So push his knee with your elbow. Get your knee under his shin. Okay, good. Now, keep your right heel towards your butt. Now keep pushing until your knee pops out, but your hook comes in. Good. Elevate and push your body out this way. So you see how you're directly under him, Hannah?
Yeah.
Try to push your body out more. Keep your butterfly hook elevated. Good. Now the only thing I suggest is this.
Traction, your knees.
Now hold on, the only thing I suggest is this. Let me borrow it again, Chris.
Sorry, Paul.
You were just trying to use your shins. Try to get your whole instep activated. So don't just lay his leg here, lay it right on the instep. So when I rotate and I start to push, my knee comes out. You see how I went all the way to my hook? Now I'm still directly underneath him, right? Like his body is over my body. So when I push out and I turn, now I'm under this empty space. Now when I hook, don't kick too far, you'll pull right into the hook again. Okay? So I keep my knee up and my instep active, and I'm pulling his foot forward. That messes with him. He can't come to mount now. He could try to drive this all he wants. I just point my knees at the sky. Then when I want, I go here, pinch my knees, turn, and we're in. Okay? Do it with me real quick, since I'm the middle size between the 3 of us.
Sorry, guys.
Mama done made a big American.
Elbow in. I get my touch from my mom, dude.
Good.
And once in a little bit.
Now, use this foot to push your hips that way. Good. Elevate the foot, put in a second butterfly hook. Don't ever let my foot go back to the ground. Because look, let it rest. Cool. Now I'm passing, right? Keep my foot in the air. I try to put my foot to the ground. Can't. Good. Pinch. Take me down. Excellent. Chris, you want to use a semi-formed human leg as opposed to a just barely over mini human status? Whichever side you're better at your elbow escape on. Now, I don't want you to shirk escape, I want you to elbow escape.
Snaps. Okay.
It's not called a hand escape, it's an elbow escape, right?
So inside?
Yeah. You see how you're putting all of your pressure into your hands?
Yeah.
Don't even touch my hip. Just put an elbow inside, straighten one leg, now just turn on your side. Now hold on, I said just turn on your side.
I did.
You didn't push, right? Just turn on your side. Just turn on, nope, keep this straight. Turn on your side. While this is in, now you do a small oblique crunch to push my foot lower. Good. Now, you see all that space I gave you?
Yep.
Bring your knee until it touches your elbow. Now, you see how that put my knee in the air?
Yep.
Now, keep this foot retracted towards your butt, and then pull your knee towards your face. Good. Now, use this foot to move your hips that way. Keep my foot in the air, don't let me put my foot to the ground. Good. Insert your second butterfly hook and grab my foot from the outside. Kick this leg, and you're in. Let's do it from scratch.
Man, that's fucking blowing my mind. Sorry.
I did this on my black belt test at Dennis Barangan when it was time for me to do my practical app.
Oh wait, people roll for the blackface?
Pause the camera if we're going to talk about that. But yeah, I escaped his mountain 8 seconds into this. So, boom, crunch forward, elbow escape.
So and this is just bringing this up here,
Yep, catch the ankle.
and then so this is just coming across here.
Yeah. That's it. Yep. So the good part about this top down, or bottom up entry is because you have the element of surprise. When someone feels confident that they're over you, they let their guard down a little bit, right? So when people are mounted, they feel like they're not getting ankle locked. That's the last thing on their mind, right? No one expects the Spanish Inquisition. So if you can give them these kind of dilemmas, I said this in the morning class, right? I was like, don't give people problems. Problems have solutions. Give them dilemmas. Dilemmas are just choices between two equally bad things, right? It's like nobody wants to be in a dilemma. It's like, oh, crap, man. I either miss my kid's softball game or I get fired. It's like, that's a dilemma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't have kids.
Like a certain person from the morning class who cheated on his wife with a 30-year-old and was like, hey, I guess I gotta tell my wife because I contracted an STD. Yep, that's a dilemma.
Oh, that sucks. That definitely sucks.
I'm not gonna tell you who from the morning class that was.
No.
Wasn't someone who lives here.
I don't want to know.
You really don't. So, that's a dilemma. In jiu-jitsu, you want to give people dilemmas where it's like, oh,
I
crap.
gotta give people STDs now. Dude, that sucks.
Yeah, the only thing worse than cheating and getting caught is cheating, not getting caught, but then not being able to have sex with the person you're with for fear of giving them the STD and then being like, so wait, we didn't have this for 30 years, and now you're bringing this to the marriage?
Sorry, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like one of those, not like
Yeah.
not like one of those like I don't feel good for 2 weeks and you're good. It's like
Like the gift that keeps on giving.
there's like new hardware.
Yeah.
Uzi
Yeah.
hardware.
So I want to give you one last thing. We're already way over time, but I want to give you
Yeah,
one
sorry.
last thing. Crossbody ankle lock. Crossbody ankle lock is not illegal. It is considered legal in almost every federation. But be careful if you go to the IBJJF and you don't have 5 first names. Okay. So
Would you like?
just sit. And give
You
me
have to
your-
add 5 because I have 4.
Yeah.
Chris Michael Hayes, that's 3.
Yeah. So.
Taking 3rd place, right?
So, this is a straight ankle lock, same side. This is a crossbody ankle lock. I cannot finish this with either this lift or the figure 4. Because of how your shin goes from knee in the center of my chest to foot this way, the angle's off. So, instead of going high shoulder or figure 4 / kimura grip, I go side of your foot, flat to my body, all the way around, grab my rib cage. Now I turn and look. Okay, Hannah? So, same side, cross side. When it's cross side, you can even use your knee to kind of give you more angle. But the trick to this is you don't want the bone of their ankle on your rib cage. You want the side of their foot where it feels like you almost lose the foot. And now you come all the way around and hug the far side of your body. Yeah, I call this the Kathy Bates. Because if you ever remember the movie Misery, where she hobbles the dude's ankles with a sledgehammer, it feels like you're just going to get your ankles hobbled. Right, and now I just look away. It is technically legal, even though it's a foot fold. right? If I do this enough,
Stop it, what's going on?
tap whatever, Hannah.
Tap like a pain.
She's just like this, making the poopy face. I'm like,
We're British.
you know what I can't stand about British culture in general? You have this entire history of taking over the entire globe in search of spices, and then your food has none of it.
Oh, dude, I didn't think about that. Yeah, that's kind of stupid.
Yeah. Like, have you ever been like, you know what I want tonight? I want British cuisine because of the spice.
Or British cuisine.
Because of the spices.
Fuego,
It's like,
no.
India is like, really? Really?
Yeah, they eat so much of that shit you smell them around the corner. Fucking
Yeah.
facts.
Cool. So,
It's on camera now too.
yeah, so we talked about all the things about the finish, whether it's high shoulder, the crossed hands, and whether you want to call it Kimura grip or figure four grip, or Virginia grip, whatever you want to call it, right? Those two variations.